Hello, my name is Gunther. Today I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm here to read the Daily Reflections book for October 13th, I think. Birthday of the U.S. Navy. Congratulations. Also Columbus Day. The reading is titled Unremitting Inventories. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. When these crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. We discuss them with someone immediately and make amends quickly if we have harmed anyone. Then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone we can help. That's from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous on page 84. The immediate admission of wrong thoughts or actions is a tough task for most human beings, but for recovering alcoholics like me, it is difficult because of my propensity toward ego, fear, and pride. The freedom the AA program offers me becomes more abundant when through unremitting inventories of myself I admit, acknowledge, and accept responsibility for my wrongdoing. It is possible then for me to grow into a deeper and better understanding of humility. My willingness to admit when the fault is mine facilitates the progression of my growth and helps me to become more understanding and helpful to others. Period. The end of the reading. I was having a tough time with that one. It's about the fifth time I've read it today. First time out loud though. And stumbling over the wording. This thought here, or my thought on this reading, right in the first line, after, the title, Unremitting Inventories, continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. When these crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. We discuss them with someone immediately and make amends quickly if we have harmed anyone. Then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone we can help. That's found on Alcoholics Anonymous, page 84. And that sounds familiar to me because here's a copy of Alcoholics Anonymous. If you look at the top of the page, I've written the promises continued on page 84. After the promises, are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. This thought brings us to step 10, which suggests we continue to take personal inventory and continue to set right any new mistakes as we go along. We vigorously commence this way of living as we cleaned up the past. We have entered the world of the Spirit. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. This is not an overnight matter. It should continue for our lifetime. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. When these crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. We discuss them with someone immediately and make amends quickly if we have harmed anyone. Then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone we can help. Love and tolerance of others is our code. Period. The end of the reading. If you go and look up the yesterday's reading, October 12th reading by me, And the title of that one's called Curbing Rashness. Being fair-minded and tolerant is a goal toward which I must work daily. And amen to that. I need that every minute, it seems. Because being fair-minded and tolerant, what did the book here say? On page 84. Love and tolerance of others is our code. You know what else it says in this book that I'm going to lean on now? We're not after spiritual perfection. We're after spiritual progress. Because I still need lots and lots of help in being more loving and tolerant of others. Let me add on to that. However, I have come an extraordinarily long distance from where I began 20 years ago. And it was really only about, I'm not a big guy on timelines and exact dates and stuff. So the first 2 years of sobriety, from where I sit today with this memory, is it was all I could do to not pick up alcohol and start drinking it. And I really felt that was enough. I didn't need to be finding a sponsor or making new friends or anything else. I was just focused on not drinking. Finding a sponsor and new friends did happen, and in spades. It's wonderful now. Well, 20 years, okay, so but the love and tolerance of other people, I mean, I've always had trouble with that. And then 30 years of drinking didn't help that much, if any. The desperation in trying to get and stay sober, it's hard to say. Well, eventually that caused it to become easier to trust other people, start to love other people, and start to become tolerant of other people. And so anyways, let's get back to the reading. I might just go through it again. Like I said this before, which if you haven't been watching these enough or seen the one I'm speaking of right this minute, if I just do the reading and then I talk a little bit about myself and maybe some problems I have in the area that the reading's talking about, and then go back and do the reading again, that seems to be a helpful way for me to be going through these things and explaining stuff. Because what else does a big book here say? Who knows? Lots of stuff. To share my experience, strength, and hope to help you guys get sober and stay sober in a happy, contented way eventually. Unremitting inventories. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. This is bugging me to some degree that I got to pick up this book, the little red book, because I've written this down, I think, these 4 qualities somewhere. And I think it's from step 8 and 9. Written that down here. After the summary of steps 8 and 9, one of the last things it says, here, think of this. Steps 8 and 9 come immediately before step 10. Why did we bother doing step 8 and 9, steps 8 and 9. And it says here, we are trying to put our lives in order. We do this through maximum service to God and the people about us. We believe this is the purpose of steps 8 and 9. To maximum service to God and the people around us. Serious threats to our sobriety are selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. Unremitting inventories. We continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. Is that the same? Yes. This is helpful to me right now, that if you, in another one of my previous videos, I had said something about, here, let's read the 10th step. Step 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Unremitting inventories. Step 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So that's 2. I don't know if that's unremitting yet or not, but that's 2. That's more than one inventory. And why I bring this up is because I feel that making a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves, that can seem like a gargantuan, huge task. And a lot of humans don't want to do that. It's a lot of work. A lot of maybe unpleasant work. And what I'm trying to put forth right this second is that basically a whole lot of the garbage in my life came from like these 4 simple things. I know fear is a huge one, and resentment. Not a lot of helpful qualities in either one of those. Selfishness and dishonesty. Yeah, these are all bad things. Like I need to say. Selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear are going to be a threat to our sobriety. It's going to hinder our usefulness to others, hinder our usefulness to our higher power, make the teamwork factor there of the higher power and me trying to cope with things without alcohol more difficult. So dishonesty, resentment, fear, and selfishness, look out for those. Now, the reading today, what this person said, if I still have time. The immediate admission of wrong thoughts or wrong actions, such as selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. The immediate admissions of wrong thoughts or actions is a tough task for most human beings, but for recovering alcoholics like me, it is difficult because of my propensity toward ego, fear, and pride. My likeness, overwhelming likeness, fondness, the propensity drawn towards ego, fear, and pride. The freedom the AA program offers me becomes more abundant when through unremitting... Just have trouble with that word today. The freedom the AA program offers me becomes more abundant when through unremitting inventories of myself, I admit, acknowledge, and accept responsibility for my wrongdoing. Admit, acknowledge, and accept responsibility for my wrongdoing. How do I know any of that? Through an unremitting inventory. I can find and then admit, acknowledge, and accept responsibility for my wrongdoing. It is possible then for me to grow into a deeper and better understanding of humility. Amen. That's let it be so, I think. Amen. So be it. My willingness to admit when the fault is mine facilitates the progression of my growth and helps me to become more understanding and helpful to others. So willingness to admit faults, wrongdoings, selfishness, dishonesty, fear, resentment, willingness. What did step 8 say? Let's read that. Made a list of all persons we had harmed. Another list. That's like an inventory of all persons we had harmed, and became willing to make amends to them all. Where did I just read today? Because I'm getting this feeling this just goes on and on and on, and it does, and it's a good thing that it does. Because some of us need a lot more help than others. Some of us need a lot of help. Some of us need help. Some of us, I don't know. There's hope for all of us to be a recovering, sober, happy, cheerful, content, productive alcoholic again. That came out kind of wrong. To happy, content, productive member of society again, leaving the alcohol behind, far behind. What 84, page 84, in the chapter Into Action. This thought brings us to step 10, which suggests we continue to take personal inventory and continue to set right any mistakes as we go along. I forget why I'm here. We have ceased fighting anything or anyone, even alcohol. For by this time sanity will have returned. Yea! We will seldom be interested in liquor. If tempted, we recoil from it as from a hot flame. Why did I come back here? I had something in mind. It had something to do with the reading, I'm pretty sure. Oh, the willingness thing about step 8. Found after the promises in the intro to step 10 on page 84, it says, well, I'm just going to need to read most of this. This thought brings us to step 10, which suggests we continue to take personal inventory and continue to set right any new mistakes as we go along. We vigorously commenced this way of living as we cleaned up the past. We have entered the world of the Spirit. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. This is not an overnight matter. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. This is not an overnight matter. Spiritual progression, not perfection, and not an overnight matter, so it doesn't need to seem, well, it can seem overwhelming, but I'm hoping to kind of chip away at that, because the fear, resentment, dishonesty is going to be a threat to your maximum usefulness anywhere, in particular to the higher power that's helping you get through all this stuff, instead of leaning on Jack Daniels all the time, or booze, or beer or something. So that teamwork, cooperation, cooperative between you and a power greater than yourself, or alcohol, that could just be your sponsor. It could be the AA group as a whole, which I would heartily I endorse that thought. recommend that if you remember from today's reading, the first couple things I did was I just quit drinking. And all this other stuff, willingness to forgive and blah, blah, all this living righteous, I had to put that over here at quite a distance. And I'll get to that when I've been sober a bit while longer. And that might be a really dangerous way to go about it, but it worked for me because I didn't pick up and I kept going to meetings. Those two things. I quit drinking, I stayed away from it, and I kept going to meetings. Even though I didn't think the meetings were helping or doing much at all. They were, though. I just didn't realize it. Number one they were doing is that while I was actively in a meeting, I was not actively drinking alcohol, which this is coffee today. Where are we at? 21 minutes and 10 seconds, something. This thing's going to shut me off in 35, 40 seconds. So, like I just said, the selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear are 4 little things. If you just chip away at maybe the dishonesty first, that'll go a long way. The first principle is honesty. Thank you for coming by here. Goodbye.